Fun fact, I have never played a Far Cry before. Well, I did play Primal Flag now, but I'm not going to count that, so I've never played a Far Cry before. So, saying that, I decided to change that by getting Far Cry 3's Platinum Trophy. And I'm not going to lie, I'm extremely excited for this. Because I've heard nothing but great things from both critics and just players in general. So, let's get straight into the details. With a total of 44 trophies, including the Platinum and PSN profiles having it around 3 out of 10 difficulty and taking around 20 hours. And I will add, I'm playing the Classic Edition on PS4, not the original on PS3, so that does mean there are no multiplayer trophies. There are, however, on PSN's guide, 2 main stages for this Platinum. The first stage, just doing the story and grabbing any trophies that pop during said story. And then stage 2, which is mainly just cleanup of collectibles and miscellaneous stuff. We'll get into that later on the video though. Getting into the game now though, I meet a bunch of random people named Grant, Riley, Lisa, Oliver, Daisy, and Keith, who seem to be celebrating something. Of course though, it isn't a real celebration unless you go skydiving. Except when you get kidnapped by pirates to be sold into slavery. By the way, my character's name is Jason, and after chatting to one of the best video game villains ever, Vars, Jason and Grant, who is our marine brother, do manage to escape the cage. Sneaking through the base, learning some basic controls like crouching and tossing rocks to distract enemies, which does have a trophy related to it. Sadly though, the sneaking doesn't exactly go perfectly, and Grant is killed by Vars. The only reason Jason, aka us, survives is because Vars wants it to be a game of a hunt really, and we do survive that hunt, mainly because we fall off a bridge into a river, but we are saved from drowning by someone. Then title card. Turns out Jason was rescued by a local rebel named Dennis, who I think agrees to help us save our friends. He was kind of cryptic, I'm not gonna lie. Most importantly though, he gives us money to buy guns. So, I guess yay? Almost forgot though, I got a trophy for escaping the pirates and surviving in the wilderness, so that was nice. Back with Dennis though, he wants us to go and turn a radio tower on, basically just opening up the map, Assassin's Creed style. After that, it was the next lesson, which was hunting. Now, with hunting, it's pretty simple. You hunt animals, collect their skins, it's for upgrades. There are also plants in the game, which are basically used for health or other things. I'll be honest, I only ever use them for health because why would you need anything else? I just want to be healed when I'm dying. And then it was time to learn about the outposts, aka the enemy bases, which was alluded to in the intro. Basically, I just have to kill every enemy in the base, and the base turns into a friendly base, which is really nice for fast travels. And yeah, it obviously has that trophy attached to it too. But wait, there's more. With this exact base I was doing, it gave me some information about where one of the friends were. And while heading to the location, I come across a tiger. It didn't like me, so I had to put it down. Turns out, putting down a prey that is hunting you was a trophy, at least for the first one. So finally getting to the place where my friend's supposed to be, I meet a doctor. And yes, he makes drugs. Fun fact. But more importantly, we find Daisy there too, who is sadly sick, so I gotta go find some shrooms. This of course means it is time to get high shit. So I get the shrooms, get through a high sequence, and then the doctor makes medicine. We save Daisy and get a trophy.
Jason, did you find your friend?
Yeah, she's fine.
While doing all this as well, I have been just upgrading my gear throughout, and when I hit my 5th upgrade, that was also a trophy too. And then, ironically, I got my 5th skill point. which was also another trophy. So some good trophies right now. Dopamine's at all-time high. Just working through some bases now, but this time it was a trap set by Vars, who catches Jason and puts him in a hut with Lisa, Jason's girlfriend. After a conversation that quickly turned into an entire fire raging in said hut, which then turned into a car chase, Jason does get Lisa out and safe with Daisy in a cave near the doctor's house. And then I get a trophy. Back to just doing island BS, I accidentally start a supply run because I wanted a car after doing a radio tower, and it turns out that the first one completed for this supply run was a trophy. Which then also made me realize that the two other blue symbols on the map must be trophies too for the first time, which were just wanted bounties and hunting bounties. Next big story revelation though was meeting the leader of a local tribe, which I think was the rebellion. I'm not completely sure, I'll be honest, but her name was Citra, and turns out she is the sister of Vars. And of course, because she's a tribal person, she needs to drug me. So of course we have another drug sequence with Jason. And yeah, does set me a new task though, to find an ancient knife, so I guess that's now what I gotta do. Also, the drugging was part of the initiation to the tribe, so I get a trophy for being initiated too. The hunt for this knife brings me to playing poker, which has a trophy related to it, but that is obviously later in the video. For this time though, it's to meet a CIA person named Willis, who's on the island to deal with Vars and Vars's boss, Hoyt. I'll meet him later. Anyway, he needs us to burn down some weed fields, so gives me a flamethrower. Yay. Also, for some reason, the game gave me a trophy for liberating an outpost without alerting anyone, but all I did was walk to the objective. So, weird trophy, but I'll take it.
Town. It's the one from my dream. Doesn't seem to be doing too well.
Also, while making my way to these weed farms, I was just hunting some random animals for upgrades, and I unlocked the 50th entry to my survival guide, which was a trophy as well. Finally though, getting to the farms, and I'll be honest, it wasn't the smoothest thing I've ever done, but I got it done. And getting back to Willis, who gave me an intel on where another one of my friends would be. Of course, though, the intel was just head to this place to get more intel. So I head off to a village to save a man named Roscoe, who knows where Oliver, the friend, is. And after a few waves of enemies, we do get the info needed and head off to my 9th radio tower, giving me a trophy. Yeah, I kind of made Oliver wait. I did finally get to Oliver and do a nice sniper section, which quickly turned into a boat chase, which in the end got Oliver back to safety with the rest of our group and got me another trophy. And I also crafted my 25th syringe, so that was a trophy too. Time to meet another character though, and his name is Buck, and guess what he wants? That's right, the same knife Citra wants. Oh, and he's also holding Keith hostage, one of our friends again, so I guess it's time to find this knife. Finding myself on a boat to gather some information from a laptop and to also grab this compass looking thing that I assume is important. Of course, life is never easy though, is it? So the boat self-destructs and I gotta get out before I drown to death. Getting out though and heading straight to meet with Buck, again, the jackass outside this temple looking place, he was just being an asshole, I'm not gonna lie. Thankfully, I do find the knife in this temple inside a tomb, because of course it's in a tomb. And again, having to escape as the temple collapses pretty much, so technically 2 self-destructions in a way, I head straight to Buck to obviously get Keith back. And Buck, of course, actually does bring me to Keith. Except that he doesn't plan to let us go, he just plans to also hold me captured with Keith. And of course, I didn't like that. So I persuaded him with the said knife to let us go. Yeah. It's also another kind of drug fight, so that was weird, but we eventually do get Keith and get a trophy. I then bring Keith to the rest of the group and then head off to do some more island related trophies now, and I get some such as liberating my 3rd outpost. And killing 4 enemies with 1 explosion. Which ironically gets me to the section where Vas sneak attacks me and captures me and says what I can only describe as some extremely famous words in the video game community.
Did I ever tell you the definition of insanity?
After that beautiful speech, he does kind of push a rock off a cliff that's tied to me and attempts to drown me, so that was kind of rude, I'm not gonna lie. But I get out and head off to escape the camp. While escaping the camp, I use my camera to tag my 25th person, which was a trophy. Getting to a chopper that I thought would help me escape, but does sadly get shot down, Vas catches up with us, and, well, he kills us. Well, that's what I thought, until Jason wakes up in a pile of bodies, surviving his fatal wound somehow, and finding Dennis. So I guess I technically escaped, and technically survived Vas, so I get this trophy. And it does also kind of cement that I have to kill Vas now. First though, I head back to Citra, who gives me more drugs and has me fight this big ass temple god. She does though reward me for this, and yes, what you think is happening is happening. So let's swiftly move on because YouTube doesn't like it. Jason is now a man though, so he's finally ready to go kill Vas. Of course, so it's never easy, and I am once again in a drugged dream sequence for like what, the 3rd time now? Except though that it may not completely be a dream sequence because Vas is actually dead. Don't believe me? Here's a trophy to prove it. With the death of her brother Citra, it was now time to finish the job and go for the head of the operation, Hoyt. But to do that, we had to leave our friends behind and head off to the southern island, which, when we do get to the southern island, got me a trophy as well. The first order of business after touching down was to go and find the inside man from the CIA guy we knew. His name is Sam, and he is going to help me infiltrate Hoyt's militia to get close and kill him. To start, it was time to get sneaky to get me a uniform. Once getting the uniform, I learned about some malicious members wanting to go rogue to scoop up Vas's land, and I see my way to get close to Hoyt. For that though, it's time to meet the man, and he seems lovely. Time to put the plan into motion though, and to start, I need to gather evidence. By gather evidence, I of course mean killing 3 VIPs and then blowing a lot of shit up. The plan is flawless though, and I get some one-on-one time with Hoyt, and his first task for me is to do an interrogation. Seems easy enough, right? I've murdered a bunch of people by now. Except that it turns out we are interrogating my 3rd and younger brother, Riley. I still tortured his ass, I'm not gonna lie to you. Hoyt's the mission. He must die. But I got a trophy after torturing him, so that was nice. And then, just like that, I get a prompt for the next mission saying it's the final one. So I make a quick stop to the store to top up and upgrade everything I have to. And after all is bought, I get a trophy for spending $5,000. As I said before though, it is time to kill Hoyt, and I'm not gonna lie, it doesn't start well.
Sorry. House rules. Ah, look at that. We have the same cards.
And of course, it's another weird drug looking fight, but I do kill him, and I do get a trophy. And that's what matters. That wasn't all though, because I still had to get Riley. And well, it definitely was a task. And once I finally got him after slaughtering many militia and then jumping in a helicopter to slaughter like 3 boats and 2 helicopters and like 2 different bases, I get him out and take him straight to the doctor's hut to find it burning down. And then the doctor bleeding out, saying it was Citra. And then he died, sadly. But yeah, Citra betrayed us, that bitch. She, of course, kidnapped all our friends to give me a choice, whether to stay with her and murder all my friends, or let them escape, and escape with them off to the mainland. So after, you'll never guess, another drug sequence, I make my choice, and, well, of course I choose to save my friends. There is the other ending, but if you want to, look it up. It's the same kind of choice as what the reward was before, but with a worse ending. And yeah, Citra didn't really like the choice I made, but that's okay because I get a trophy and she gets stabbed by Dennis. He wasn't happy that he did that either. So yeah, with that ceremony, if you want to call it that, done, it's time for collectible stage. And to start, I do these 2 other blue missions I talked about before on the map, which were, again, a hunting quest and a bouncing quest. Both giving me a trophy each. The hunting quest actually had another trophy related to it, with some of the hunts being for rare animals, which are basically just like different animals in a way. Like, for example, there's a crocodile that was an albino crocodile. Anyway, hunting my first rare animal and defeating it gave me a trophy. I think this trophy will be the first combat one, and all it was defeating an enemy with a repair tool, which was basically just a blowtorch. Now it's time for the collectible trophies, which consist of 3 with some others hidden throughout. To start, I gather all the memory cards, which I get from liberating outposts since they are all in the safe rooms in some of the outposts. This, of course, leads directly into the next trophy, with me getting all the other outposts done, because, yeah, that's what I was doing, obviously. Next trophy is for unlocking all my skills, which was harder than you think since some of the skills were locked behind challenges for some reason. Ironically though, it was more of the blue quests I had to do, so yeah, there's that trophy done. And of course, at this point in the game, I was loaded with money, so I decided to go max out a weapon by giving it a paint job and buying all its attachments, which was a trophy. Then shortly after that, I just crafted a special syringe, giving me that trophy too. So more collectible trophies again, and I started this time with relics. I thought, originally, I had to get all of them. Turned out though, that wasn't the case. I was just doing my business, collecting my collectibles, my relics of course, and to my shock, trophy popped. All I needed was 60, which I think was half if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, that was a great surprise, I'm not gonna lie to you. This let me go straight to focusing on the letters I needed, so I got all the letters and got another trophy. And with that, it was time to focus on the miscellaneous trophies, starting with poker, baby. and all I had to do was win 1500 in poker. Easy enough. Obviously, with a high adrenaline rush since winning so much in poker, I went straight to jumping off a cliff. That was 100 meters high, so I could free fall to the ground but survive. I obviously jumped into a pool of water. It was also obviously a trophy if you didn't understand that. This led me also to my next trophy technically, since I had to dive 60 meters into the ocean. Last few trophies now, and most of them are just combat stuff, starting with hitting a target with a bow that was 70 meters away. It did have to be a militia person, just to inform you. Next couple were a bit more grindier. Like, I had to distract 25 enemies with the rocks, and to fully distract someone properly for it to count, you just have to have them walk over to see where the rock landed. And yeah, this kind of proves how lack of stealth I was during the playthrough of the game, if anything. But there's that trophy.
What keeps doing that?
Next was just 50 kills with the flamethrower, which I probably should have done as well in the story, but I'm not gonna lie to you, flamethrower was a bit so yeah, I kind of just ran around with a shotgun, RPG, and a sniper. Last kind of grindy trophy, which is my fault because, again, there is a perfect opportunity during the story to do this, where you're on the boats to get the first compass piece and the intel off the laptop. But there is another way, which is an outpost right here in the map on screen, and you just hop onto this roof, trick someone with the rocks to go stand under the zip line, and then all you have to do is zip line off to kill them. Now, to do this, you do need to unlock the skill to allow you to do this, and the trophy does say that parachuting and paragliding works. Both of them didn't for my game, so I think it is glitched and only ziplining works. But here's this trophy, and now you know as well. This just left me with going to the beach to find the lost Hollywood star. I think this was a meme. I'll be honest, I have no idea. I was not internet savvy back in this time when this game released. But here's that trophy. And directly after, the platinum. Far Cry 3. I mean, what a game. I enjoyed this so much. This for me was my 39th platinum, and it took me 21 hours-ish, and yeah, all I have to say is please play it. Do make sure to do the PS4 Classic Edition so there is no multiplayer trophies, and yeah, just plat it, you won't regret it. On another note, I am also streaming again, on Twitch and Kick, depending the day and what I'm in the mood for, so stop by. I can tell you that on Twitch we are currently doing all the Telltale games I own, and on Kick we're getting ready for Halloween. We're starting Little Nightmares 2. It is almost finished, and after that I'm not sure what we're going to do, but I have got ideas and concepts and challenges planned. So till then, check out what I'm doing live either way, and if you like this video, leave a like, comment what you want to see, and subscribe. It helps me out so much. But till next time, see ya.